ABC radio.
I love that.
Live on the ABC Listen app, your smart speaker. Drive with Kylie Baxter.
Now we're talking.
This is ABC Radio Hobart and ABC Northern Tasmania.
On a health matter now, Australians aged 65 and over are 8 times more likely to be hospitalised and 68 times more likely to die from a fall than those who are aged 15 to 64. I know that it might sound a bit morbid, but fall prevention is key, and we're going to have more on that in just a moment, so make sure you stay with me. It's a really interesting conversation about how to avoid falling. Did you know in Australia 1 in 3 adults over 65 experiences a fall every year? And these falls can have a substantial physical, emotional and financial impact on the people involved and, of course, their families. The organisation, Integrated Living, has just released, or introduced, I should say, a falls prevention wellness program. It's a proactive falls prevention program. It's aimed at reducing the risk, also improving your balance and your strength, and making your home safe so that if something happens, you can manage a fall. The program draws from the latest research into falls prevention, and I'm joined on the program by Fatimah. She's a registered nurse from Integrated Living, and she also helps to run this program. And I'd like to say a very good afternoon. Hello, Fatimah.
Hi, Kylie. Thank you so much for having me today. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
For the weekend.
I know. Well, let's hope everybody's got the weekend off. But it's Happy Friday for many, many Australians and Tasmanians. Now, I would love you to explain to us, why falls occur mostly for our older citizens.
Thank you so much, Kylie, for the question. So why do older people fall? There's a lot of factors that can actually contribute to this happening. So a couple of them I will be discussing. So first of all, our muscles become weaker, Kylie, as we mature. One of my beautiful clients say, "Hey, Fatimah, we're not getting old. We're getting mature and interesting." I said, okay. So as we
It's
become
a great
mature,
way to look at it.
Yes, it is too. So as we actually become mature and interesting, Kylie, so our muscle become weaker. In fact, we typically lost our muscle mass and strength. And by the time we're about 80, we lose about 40% of our muscle mass. Another thing as well is our joint becomes less flexible. So as we age, our joint tends to stiffen, restricting our ability to move freely and quickly. Plus, our reflexes and reaction time slows down, meaning the messages that's being passed from our brain to the muscles to say, "Hey, come on, move," is now becoming a bit delayed, resulting in delayed reaction to our body. Another thing as well, Kylie, is our balance decreases. So as we age, muscle wasting, joint stiffness, diminished reflexes can make it harder to perform stabilizing movements, and it becomes harder to reorient our bodies again when we trip or we misstep or even when we're reaching too far.
And so, Fatimah, what do you recommend then? What can we actually do to minimise the number of falls?
Certainly, thank you. So what are the ways we can actually minimize falls in our older, mature clients, as we say? So exercise regularly, Kylie, it's very important. In fact, studies have shown that exercises have proved to reduce the chances of fallings for our elderly clients. And of course, seek professional advice before you engage in any exercises from an exercise physio or a physiotherapist, because I always believe that exercise program should be tailored to individual needs. There's no such thing as one size fits all. Another thing as well, Kylie, is see your general practitioner regularly. Discuss any unusual symptoms. Ask them to check your blood pressure, the blood glucose levels, calcium levels, and ensure that if you are suffering from any chronic condition, these are being managed well with medication or lifestyle changes. Also seeking advice from a occupational therapist to ensure that your home is safe, and at the same time assessing what are the other things you can actually advise or provide to make the home safer. For example, a grab bars in the bathroom, a handrails, or a handheld shower, or a shower chair. These things may sound simple, but they can actually lower your risk of falling a lot, especially if you are at home. And also, also proper nutrition and regular vision and hearing check as well is very important, Kylie.
Now, you mentioned nutrition, and that's actually what I was going to ask because, when your muscles waste and you don't have the tone, that can be partly because you're not getting the protein you need, can't it? So what do you recommend as far as nutrition?
Yes, that is right. Protein is very important. So make sure that you have protein in your meals at all time. If you ever have a bit of a think, what do we normally have in breakfast? Most of the time we'll have toast or cereal. So what has been recommended is we should have protein at each meal because that's a well-balanced meal. So maybe putting nuts, having a bit of yogurt or boiled eggs. They're very magnificent and they're very easy to prepare as well. Have a lot of fish. I love salmon. Salmon is a good source for protein as well, Kylie.
And of course, those little tins of tuna that seem very prolific in supermarkets. That's a super easy, relatively inexpensive protein hit as well, isn't it?
That is correct. And in fact, one small tin of tuna, that is considered one serve of protein, Kylie.
Okay, I have to remember that to do that more often myself. Now, what activities or tasks would you recommend, if you are over 65 and maybe not in perfect shape, what should you avoid? Could you maybe ask a child or a grandchild to get down that vase on the top shelf or, that sort of thing? What do you recommend people think twice about doing?
You're actually correct on that one, Kylie. Climbing ladders, it's a big no-no. So as we actually become a bit older, we actually encourage to avoid using the stools as well as climbing ladders. If there is any task that requires reaching heights, please, by all means, ask our strong grandchildren to do it for us. Also, heavy lifting, try not to lift heavy objects as well. Rushing and hurrying. I've always seen this in the community, Kylie. My beautiful ladies and gentlemen, when they have someone ringing in the door or they have the phone call, they rush. Rushing and actually hurrying can also make you stumble and lose balance. So take time. And I always tell them if the call is important, they're normally going to leave a voice message. Isn't that right?
And the other one I would imagine is if you are rushing to the door, which, as you said, you shouldn't, but, not having things like rugs or uneven floor surfaces, a rug with a turned up corner, that could be easily a trip hazard, couldn't it?
Exactly. Ensuring as well proper lighting, making sure that the environment is safe. That's where an occupational therapist comes as well. They would assess and make sure that your home is safe and you're well equipped to make sure that you stay safe and falls free at home.
And if people do want to get in touch with you and they're interested in this fall prevention program, is that quite easy to get in touch?
Yes, you guys can have a look at our website, the Integrated Living website, and there's a contact details in there. And please feel free to contact us, and we'll be in touch with you guys if you want to join our lovely Wellness for Independence program, which, by the way, is run now in Tasmania, and it's been launched last December. So the more, the merrier. We'll be more than happy to welcome you all to our program.
And I think sometimes it can be quite hard to admit that you are at risk. So just very briefly, tell us about the aged care assessments on offer through an RAS assessor.
Okay, so there's different funding types that our older clients can actually acquire access through the My Aged Care. So there's what we call the Common Health Support Program. It's a one phone call away access. You can call My Aged Care, request them for, let's say, help at home. If, let's say, you're struggling for a certain task, let's say you need someone to help you with gardening, they can help you arrange that one as well. Let's say if you need a bit of help in transport or, let's say, shopping. So this funding is available for everyone. So you can ask your family member to do the call for you, or even your doctor can also refer you.
Great to have a chat, and let's hope we've helped a few people avoid getting on a ladder and just think about being the best they can be at all ages. Thank you so much, Fatimah.
No worries, Kylie, and thank you so much for having me this afternoon.
Fatimah Lasigas, a registered nurse with Integrated Living.